Chatters. I'm Nat.
And I'm Kat, and welcome to the Crime Chat. I am your forensic femme fatale. Natalie is your true crime addict connoisseur.
We're just two normal girls obsessed with dark crimes, evil minds, and occasionally the unknown.
And here is your disclaimer, chatters. The following crime chat contains adult content. And based on just the title alone, it'll probably have some violent scenarios today. So your listener discretion is advised.
You have been warned. And before we get into today's crime chat, Kat, what shenanigans have you been up to? We're both coming from a little box. You put us in a little box.
Yeah, we're in a suitcase. We're traveling again. We're traveling again, and it sounds like it's just as sinister. So yeah, I have been finally catching my breath from last month's utter chaos that ensued until the next one begins. So, it's in waves the next couple months.
With work and stuff?
Yeah, so in addition to like the work contracts that I've been doing, I got another one coming up at the end of March, but that's only for a week. And then in April, I'm gone all the way through Memorial Day in New York City.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. I'm actually really looking forward to it. I'm going to be doing a little bit different role for supporting this exercise. So I'll be learning a lot. And I learned a lot from when I was gone doing the last contract that I was on. Because I do government contract work for the Army, and I'm Air Force, so there's this translation thing. The different services are all like they speak different terms in a way.
Right.
So, but got a little breather. I'm all caught up because I started teaching. I started a new class teaching criminology. It's so fascinating. So breaking down all the different biological, psychological, and sociological theories on why people commit crime.
Ooh.
Yeah, so fascinating. So fascinating. Yeah. And we're getting ready to go into our second week, so I will, see what I can decipher maybe for the next recording and just be like, hey, I taught this in my criminology classes this week. And then I'm about halfway through my last core class of my creative writing program.
Nice.
The last two classes are towards that final capstone and, your thesis and everything like that. So this is my last core class. It's very heavy. I think I anticipated it would be. So heavy reading. And heavy writing, heavy analyzing. So it's time consuming.
And then your book?
Yeah, I haven't touched it, girl. I have not touched it. I have thoughts. Like, ooh, I need to do this. Although when I was on my contract earlier this month, on my contract at the end of February, I been working with a guy. I've known him. I probably met him last year, maybe the year before. We've worked on a couple contracts together. He just wrote a novel, and it's very similar to my No One Home novel. Very similar, like very themed and that kind of thing. And so we got to talking about just writing aspects of the publishing world, that kind of thing. So, and he's working between two publishers, trying to select a publisher that he's going to go with, but his first novel is completely finished. So I was like, hey, you got some time? You want to read what I got so far? And he started his second novel, so I made some of those connections, and that kind of, just by talking to him, it did kind of get some of the wheels turning about, okay, what direction do I want to go in next? So I sent you the first, I think, eight or nine chapters. Have you had a look at it?
Well, you sent it a while ago. That was what I read, right? Yeah.
Did you
that was
read it?
awesome. It was amazing. Yeah. You at that time you were trying to figure out like which words to use for this. So you would have like these little like, should I use this? You wrote down your thoughts, which were really interesting. I'm like, oh, I see where she's going.
Where my direction. Yeah, where I want to go with it. Yeah. And it's always good because it's kind of like the biggest challenge that I have found is what's going on in my brain, are
Mhm.
writing that in such a way that the reader's able to pick up on that direction without giving
Yeah.
too much away, because you have to build that tensity and that tension has to kind of keep going and everything like that. So yeah, it's just, oh, I love it. Work is getting in the way. But since I got home, the other thing that I've caught up on is The Pits. Ugh, such a fantastic series. Fantastic series. We got all caught up. I think
Hmm.
there was like 3 or 4 episodes that we had to watch. We binged it the night I got home, or maybe the next night, the following night. And
Hmm.
it's just really, really good. It's Noah Wiley. Just
Noah
fantastic.
Wiley.
Dr. Robbie. Yeah. And I also wanted to do a really quick shout out before
Hmm.
handing you the handing you the podium, I guess.
Okay. Okay.
Is so do you remember our chatter Sarah? I worked with
God, yeah, bloodbathery girl.
Bloodbathery. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am friends on like Facebook, social media with her dad. I worked with her dad several years
Hmm.
ago, and he had posted that Sarah was just accepted to LSU in Shreveport. So starting in the fall this year, and I just wanted to give a super, crime chat shout out to Sarah, saying, "Way to
Yes.
go, girl! Way to
Yeah.
go!"
Good job.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah,
Oh my God.
amazing. And we do have
Awesome.
we do have a new a subscriber, Will, to Patreon. So we want to say thank you to
Yes.
Will also,
Yes.
and
I will.
we'll be getting some merch as
Hmm.
for signing up for Patreon, and he's
Yep.
seems really enthusiastic about what we do, so which is awesome.
Yeah. We love it. We love it.
Yeah, and it's all my shenanigans. That's enough. How about you?
So a new game came out.
Ooh,
Okay.
yeah,
There are two games.
2 games. Okay,
First one is I don't know if you ever heard of the game Resident Evil.
of course, yes.
Okay. So have you ever played it?
No. I want to play games. I just don't. I told,
Oh God, you
well, so
have
after our last
to.
conversation, you're like, you need to do it. It's a good stress reliever, whatever.
Yes.
I talked to Chris about it. He's like,
Hmm.
because we've got a PlayStation and an Xbox, and he's like,
Hmm.
just go play something. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
give me more time in the day. You know, give me more time. I will, but I want to. So yeah.
So
So Resident Evil.
yeah, so Resident Evil 9 Requiem came out
Yes. I
yesterday,
have
well,
seen
2 days ago.
I have seen advertisements for it as well. Yeah.
I don't like I was around when Resident Evil first came out with PlayStation 1, like in the 90s. Oh my God, it's
Yeah.
been a while.
Yeah.
No, no, not the 90s. Yeah, I guess so. And a lot of people don't realize that Resident Evil kicked off the zombie craze. So
Yes.
Resident Evil was like an homage to what is that? The Living Dead?
Or The Walking Dead.
No, 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 no.
Oh.
The Living Dead, the
Oh, the
movie.
movie The Living Dead. Oh,
The
okay.
Walking Dead was influenced
Yeah.
by Resident Evil. So
Yeah.
Resident Evil came way before Walking Dead.
Well, yeah, yeah.
But like when you watch Walking Dead, you see the similarities between the
Yeah.
stories. So
Yeah.
because Resident Evil is based in a sheriff. There's sheriffs, there's police, there's this,
Okay.
there's that. So it's like that you could see the similarities in it.
Yeah.
But this game is it's so difficult. It's scary. It's truly a horror movie. Like it's very, very scary.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that. And then there's another game that came out. It's not out yet, but I think it's hilarious.
Uh.
It's called Karen the Game. Now, Karen, we know is a trope for women that
Yeah.
kind of like, walk in there like, give me your, I want to speak to your
Be
manager,
a
like the whole thing.
Karen.
Oh my God, the trailer is hilarious. It's just like, it's so funny. I'm like, you know what? This is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Oh, wow. I will have to say I have a friend Karen who I absolutely adore, and I hate that that has the name like for her because you poor thing.
I know. I know. The name has been
Yeah.
through the mud. It's been
Oh my
dragged
gosh.
to the mud. But
Yes.
that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we're getting ready to go into spring. We're like
Mm-hmm.
halfway through season 5 already.
It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
That's insane.
it's insane.
Mm-hmm.
But for this episode, mark
Mm.
it down for this episode. You wanted me to do an introduction on crazy things that TSA, our Transportation Security Advisor Department, finds in luggage.
Mm.
Yeah,
This is gonna be wild.
it's gonna be wild. Okay, obviously, if you're viewing us, you can see the luggage on the screen. So we're going to be traveling again.
Right.
This time we're in suitcases.
Right. So odd things you find in luggage besides Nat and Cat.
Besides us, podcast, a
Yeah.
body,
Yeah.
yeah, 10 other things.
Yeah.
Well, we've all been there, standing in the security line, shuffling in our socks, wondering
Mm.
if we remember to take out that pocket knife of our keychain. And while most of us are worried about an oversized bottle of shampoo, some
Mm-hmm.
passengers are playing a completely different game.
Mm.
Today, we're diving into TSA's most recent quote unquote Hall of Shame. The wildest, weirdest, most what the hell were they thinking items intercepted at the
Mm-hmm.
airport checkpoints since just last year. Like the
Okay.
ones I'm going to mention have been in the last year.
Okay.
Crazy. Okay. So we're talking about a list that includes live turtles, Nesquik, and I kid you not, raw chicken. Number one,
So,
live turtle in pants.
oh my God.
In a bizarre repeat of history, travelers at both Miami and Newark airports attempted to smuggle live turtles by hiding them in their underwear, in their undergarments. TSA agents noticed quote unquote unusual movements during the pat down process.
Those poor turtles. Oh my God.
Good thing they weren't snapping turtles.
I know, but those poor turtles.
Number two, explosive replicas. A passenger at Boise Airport caused a massive security scare by packing a replica pipe bomb in their checked luggage.
What is,
Even if it
oh my
is, quote unquote, just a prop or a
God.
training aid,
Yeah.
anything that looks like an explosive will trigger a full scale evacuation.
Yes. That. Come on. No
Right?
common sense.
Number three, gun in raw chicken. One of the most famous poultry based crimes. A traveler at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International Airport, which is where I flew in and out of, by the way, for
Mm-hmm.
my cruise, they stuffed a handgun inside a raw whole chicken. TSA's official social media response was legendary, reminding us that, quote, this plan wasn't even half baked, end quote. Number four, bullets in Nesquik. Security at Miami International Airport found a container of Nesquik chocolate powder that felt a little heavy. Upon
Mm-hmm.
opening it, they discovered the powder was actually camouflaging a significant amount of live ammunition.
Oh my God.
Like, no guns or ammo. I mean, come on, people.
Why would you think that cocoa powder would
Hide
camouflage
it? I don't know.
anything?
This feels a little heavy. Okay, so I'll say when I travel, when I fly, and I bring like protein powder or like pre-workout or BCAAs or something like that that has a that's powdery. It's in its original
Mm-hmm.
container. If I have it in my carry-on, 100% of the time they take it out and look at it and
Mm-hmm.
inspect it.
Yeah.
So people, yeah, pay attention.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, knives in car seats and tinfoil.
Oh my
Travelers at
God.
Dallas, Fort Worth, and Newark tried to bypass x rays by wrapping various blades in tinfoil, which actually makes them more visible on a scan. Or they tried to also sew them directly into the padding of child car seats.
It's
Why?
alarming.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know. That's alarming.
Why? I just don't understand it. Number 6, gun and guitar case, Lego edition.
Oh my
At
God.
Newark Liberty International Airport, a traveler disassembled a 9mm firearm and hid the pieces across several items in their carry on, including inside a Lego box and another piece tucked into the toe of their boot. Like, why?
Mm-mm.
Like, why?
They're up to no good.
Well, I mean, yes. One,
Mm-hmm.
no, but
Yeah.
yeah. But also, you can put guns on a plane. They just have to be, well, unloaded. They have to be checked in. Like, there's a process
Mm-hmm.
for it. You can fly
Right.
with firearms. This is
Right.
not the way to do it, people.
No.
Number 7, drugs in shoes and candles. At Kona International Airport, officers found drug paraphernalia hidden inside hollowed out soles of shoes and then embedded deep within the wax of large scented candles.
Mm.
I mean, the
Mm.
extents that people will go,
I know.
you
I know.
know? Ugh. Number 8, cattle prod. Well, musical instruments are common. The TSA was surprised to find an electric cattle prod packaged alongside a guitar. Prods are generally prohibited in the cabin as they are considered quote unquote shocking weapons. Pun
Mm-hmm. They are.
intended.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Number 9, inert grenades. Several passengers in 2025 tried to fly with decommissioned or inert rocket grenades. The TSA's rule is simple: if it looks like a grenade, the bomb squad has to come out and your flight will be delayed.
Right. Right.
And the last one, weaponized household items. TSA has uncovered covert weapons like daggers hidden inside hairbrushes, knives built into knee braces, and
Mm-hmm.
flashlights that double as high voltage tasers. And that, Nat, is 10 of the absolutely wildest things that TSA has found at the bottom of a carry-on as of late. And I think we've all
Yeah.
learned an important lesson today. If you're planning on traveling with a live turtle, a chainsaw, or a handgun inside your holiday dinner, maybe just consider doing a road trip instead.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Oh, and here's a tip. If you're wondering if your item is okay to fly, the TSA actually has a quote unquote can I bring tool on their website. Generally,
Mm-hmm.
if it involves raw chicken, the answer is going to be no.
There's no. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next time you're feeling frustrated because you had to throw away a perfectly good bottle of expensive sunscreen, just remember,
Yeah.
at least you aren't the guy trying to explain to a federal agent why there's a 9mm disassembled inside of your Lego box. And that is a
Yeah.
conversation no one wants to have while wearing just socks in a public terminal. So, chatters, remember to travel safely, pack light, and for the love of all things holy, keep the Nesquik for the milk and the chicken for the grill.
Yeah. And thank a TCA worker.
Yes. Oh
Seriously. God bless
gosh.
them.
Oh, you
Thank
see them
you.
sometimes, and they're there. They're doing a job, right? Everybody
Yeah.
just does their job.
Mm-hmm.
Rules, laws, and everything like that has nothing to do with that individual that's in front of you.
No.
You can ask them questions, but to take whatever personal, things that you have against whatever rule out on them isn't necessarily like maybe your best option. And trying to
Mm-hmm.
get away with it definitely isn't another option. But
Right.
yes, TSA workers, it's nice to see when they're actually enjoying their job.
I know.
Yeah.
But you know what? They probably have a wall of fame. They probably enjoy this
Sure.
part of the job because they
We
get to
all
laugh
do.
at it.
We all
Yeah.
federal agents do.
Wall of
Everybody
fame.
does. There's a
It's
wall of
great.
fame, wall of shame. Yes, everybody does because you're like the logic in your brain is going, how did this person even come up with this idea? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Yes.
we had a guy one time who was we were doing a subject interview. It was child pornography. So, but not necessarily a violent person. We stepped out for a
Mm-hmm.
minute to kind of think of our next steps ahead and everything. We were watching him on the video, and he starts punching himself in the face.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean, he's
To say that
punishing
you did
himself.
it?
Well, we think that he was trying to manipulate. Obviously, it was recorded. You could see him totally doing it to himself. And then I
Yeah.
had one of my guys go in and open the door and like be like, "What are you doing? Like, are
The
you
hell?
okay? Like, do I need to call a medic? Do we need to call a doctor?" like that. Although I will say that guy was on the
Yes.
next level. Like, we didn't really realize it at the time, but for what we had had brought him
Yeah.
in for to do an interview with him, but
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot more to it, a lot more onion
I bet.
peels that were came out of that. But that was just like our initial like, what makes you think that hitting yourself and maybe blaming one of the other law enforcement, like, what is that gonna do? Like, dude,
Desperation.
I don't know. Anyway,
Desperation.
that's your intro on some of the craziest things that TSA has seen in the last year. Wild and crazy rides.
Thank you for that. That was a perfect setup, okay, for our little crime chat today.
Yay!
Our case is going to take us to Winter Park, Florida,
Okay.
just outside of Orlando. Have you been there? I'm sure you've
Oh,
been.
I've been to Winter Park, yes. But I don't
Okay.
know if you noticed of the 10 things that I listed, I think
Yeah.
7 of them were in Florida.
You're welcome. Okay.
Thank you, Florida man.
so, so Winter Park is a peaceful and little predictable
Oh, yeah.
paradise with palm trees and dog walks and sunsets.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, this is Florida, the state where the headlines, starting with Florida Man, usually end with something completely ridiculous.
Yes.
And most Floridians will admit this is true, like myself. I
Mm-hmm.
will admit, yes,
Mm-hmm.
these stories are ridiculous.
Yeah.
But what we won't tell you is deep down, we're a little proud of it too. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're a little proud of it. Because you know what? Let's face it. It is one state the zombies would absolutely avoid if there was an apocalypse. And we're cool with that.
Yeah.
We're right. You can deal with that. We're fine. I think the zombies would just walk past Florida and be like, "We're good. No, you guys
Unless
covered
it was
Florida man. We're good."
well, unless it was The Walking Dead because,
Mhm.
that was like a natural, like you didn't have to be bit by a zombie to turn into
Right.
one. You just had to die, and there's a lot of death
That's right.
there.
That's right. Well, in Walking Dead, where did they ever get to Florida? I know they started in Georgia and
Well,
they went
they
north.
were in Georgia, yeah, yeah. Then they
They
went to
went north.
Virginia.
They didn't go south. They didn't
Yeah.
get to that. They avoided Florida.
Yeah.
I'm
What
telling
if they
you.
just did die and turned into a zombie when they're in Florida? I mean, there's a lot of
Food.
retirees there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
do they just go, "Fuck that, I don't want to be here. I'm
I
off
don't
to
know.
Georgia."
Well, okay, so here's the unsettling truth. The most disturbing crimes rarely happen in places that look dangerous. They happen in places that look perfectly normal. And behind the door of one of the most quiet Winter Park townhomes was a woman named Sarah Boone.
Mm.
Not the 19th century dressmaker Sarah Boone from North Carolina who invented the ironing board,
Oh,
which we all use as a hanger for random shit in our closet today. Not her. Okay? You know you do it. Don't tell me you
it's
don't.
in my
We all do it.
laundry room and
Yeah.
it collects the lint from the dryer. I
Okay.
don't use it. I don't use it to hang on anything, but it's there. It's there if I
Yeah.
need it.
If it's she it like invented like the contraption that collapses it,
Oh,
you
that's
know?
cool. That's
So,
cool. Go, Sarah.
but
Not this Sarah, but
yeah,
go, Sarah.
but once that thing is like standing, when you use it, it sits there for a couple of days with some things on it. I do
I
it all the
have
time.
done it. I haven't done it in a while, but
Yeah.
yes. I just don't use it enough to collect anything.
Okay, so we're going to be discussing a different Sarah Boone. So this Sarah Boone was born December 29th, 1977. Details about her parents are limited, so I'm really not going to get into her childhood like
Okay.
that way,
All right.
okay?
Mhm.
But people who knew her later described she was someone with a personality that could be both engaging and difficult. I know the type.
Sure.
Now, Sarah could be articulate and talkative, often drawn to conversations about religion, forgiveness, and personal redemption.
Hmm.
At different points in her life, she leaned heavily into faith and spoke about the idea that people could rebuild themselves after mistakes.
Okay.
But that intensity had another side. Friends and acquaintances said Sarah could be argumentative and quick to escalate conflicts.
Oh.
When disagreements started, she rarely backed down. Small issues sometimes turned into long emotional confrontations.
Mm.
In 2005, she married Brian Boone, and the couple had a son, Lucas, who was born between 2010 and 2011. Once again, he was kind of kept out of the spotlight too. I could not
Well,
find his birth date. I couldn't
okay.
find it.
Well,
So I'm assuming it's kept private. And
good.
this is
Okay.
kind of a recent case,
Okay.
so
Oh,
maybe
okay.
more will come out. By 2008, they got divorced and continued to share custody. By 2010, neighbors in Winter Park noticed a pattern with Sarah: alcohol.
Oh,
She was becoming a heavy drinker.
cheers.
And yeah, oh, I got my Propel. Cheers.
I got my wine.
Neighbors said drinking had become a regular part in her life,
Mm,
and she occasionally started arguments in the community. Police were called to the home more than once for
mm,
disturbances that she caused while she
mhm.
was drinking. It was also during this time that Sarah began a new relationship with
Okay.
Jorge Torres Jr. Jorge was born April 29th, 1978, and spent most of his life in Central Florida.
Hmm.
He grew up surrounded by family and close relatives. Most people described him as someone who enjoyed being around other people.
Okay.
He was talkative, he was social, he was a friend to the friendless, they said. Family members said that he had a big personality, someone who liked joking around and spending time with others. He sounds like a little social butterfly.
Yeah.
And when you see
Yeah.
his picture, he looks really sweet, like
Oh.
really sweet. Before he met Sarah, he had already been struggling with alcohol himself.
Okay.
Friends and family later acknowledged that drinking had been a reoccurring issue in his life for years. Alcohol often became a way for him to cope with stress, and over time, it developed into a pattern of heavy drinking. They said he could be friendly and outgoing when sober, but while drinking, he became more impulsive and erratic and got into arguments
Mm,
quite easily.
yeah.
They said police were called a number of times for his outbursts, so he definitely had a real issue. And by
Yeah.
the time Torres was in his late 30s, he was a full blown
Oh.
alcoholic.
Oh, that's not good.
No. Sarah and Jorge met in Florida around 2017 through friends. And after 3 months, they got really serious, and he moved in with her
Hmm.
into the townhouse in Winter Park.
Okay.
From the beginning, their relationship was described as intense.
Mm,
Both struggled with alcohol, and friends said that their drinking often amplified disagreements between
yeah.
them. Some of their arguments escalated into multiple domestic disturbance incidences that were the police were called. And the police would get there and kind of like calm them down,
Hmm.
separate them,
Hmm.
and like, so they can sober up.
Yeah.
They were being very nice. And also, Jorge was a little jealous. So like there was an instant where they were at a bar,
Hmm.
and so she another man asked her, Sarah, for a cigarette, and like he noticed like this interaction, and he just became like, oh
Oh.
my god, like just
Oh.
really.
Oh. Was it
uh,
a controlling thing with him? Or was it
I
insecurities?
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what I don't think he was thinking straight, but I
Yeah.
think that
Well,
if you've gotten to the point where you're a full-blown alcoholic, I think there are other issues.
issues. Yeah.
So yeah, maybe he was cheated on a long time ago, had some
Mm,
like issues with that, or
yeah.
maybe he had issues with his parents. I don't know, but it definitely triggered him when she was speaking to other men. So, but like they just left the bar and they had a fight. Like that was
Hmm.
it. Like it was
Hmm.
just like a reoccurring thing. Now, in July 2018, the situation escalated when both Sarah and Jorge were arrested after a domestic dispute. During the incident, he was charged with battery by strangulation, but she ended up dropping the charge after she sobered up.
Mm.
Now, even after arrests and police intervention, the relationship continued. Arguments would erupt, then apologies would follow, then the apologies would be a reconciliation,
You know what
and the
this
cycle would start
sounds like? My
all over again.
neighbors.
Oh, yes.
Sounds like my neighbors across the street.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
And they got into it yesterday, and she was gone for hours until he left for work because he works at night.
Yeah.
And it was 5 minutes after he left that she came back.
Wow. Yeah.
And
It's
of
this
course, both of
vicious
their cars were
cycle.
there this morning. So it is a
Mm.
vicious cycle. Yeah.
So neighbors said that they sometimes heard shouting through the walls during the arguments between the couples. So they were getting loud and rowdy, and it happened quite often. To outsiders, they appeared to be another rocky relationship, but the pattern was growing more dangerous. Now, despite the instability, Jorge and Sarah continued living together, and there
Mm-hmm.
was a kid there part-time.
Oh
So,
God, yes.
you know. And at this time, the kid was about 10 or 11.
Mm-hmm.
So now, early 2020, that tension was approaching a breaking point. Sarah had a weird sense of humor.
Okay.
During this time, she posted a photo on social media showing her young son climbing inside a suitcase and her zipping it closed, trapping him inside, and then laughing about it.
Okay.
Like, people didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
It was but it is like a weird post.
Yeah.
Um, in the post, she joked about the situation and that it was harmless. Like, I guess people did say, like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? That's so dangerous.
Yeah.
Neighbors and investigators would later find this photo a bit strange and unsettling coincidence, what we're
Oh,
about to
okay.
discuss.
We're in a suitcase. Got
Yeah.
it.
So on the evening of February 23rd, 2020, Sarah and Jorge had been home drinking together. According to Sarah's later statement to investigators, the night began casually. She told police the two started to drink a bottle of wine. They spent the evening talking and joking around the home. Drinking together had become a common part and a routine in their relationship. Like, it
Sure,
was a
yeah.
thing that they did together, that they
Yeah.
shared. It
Yeah.
was a dysfunction that they shared together. At some point late that night, the couple began to play a game, what Sarah described as hide and seek,
Oh boy.
which is odd. Yeah. So during the game, Jorge climbed into a large blue suitcase that had been by the door, like in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
The same suitcase that her son was in
Oh
a
no.
couple of weeks prior,
Yeah.
taking that picture. For a brief moment, Boone stated that it was funny, like they were both having fun.
Yeah.
But that moment, it didn't end there. She zipped the case and then she zipped it closed so he
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get out.
Mm-hmm.
And then she picked up her cell phone and started recording. Investigators would later recover these videos from her phone that were filmed that night, and it's super messed up. So while trapped in the suitcase, Jorge's voice can be heard
Sure.
through the fabric.
Yeah.
And at first, he sounds confused.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely sounds intoxicated,
Okay. Yeah.
but confusion. His tone starts to change in the video.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. You can tell. And she's about like 5 feet away from him recording. And
Right.
you can tell like he's having difficulties. Like, his words are like breathy. So you
Mm-hmm.
could tell like he's having difficulty breathing.
Breathing. Okay.
He tells Sarah he's stuck for her to help. His voice like grows like more urgent, and you could see it and hear it in the audio.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Sarah, I can't breathe. Sarah, let me out.
God.
She didn't panic, and she isn't trying to help. Instead, she's laughing at
I was
him.
gonna say she probably thought it was funny.
Oh, yeah, and she's
Oh
drunk.
God.
At, at this point, she says, that's what you do when you choke me. That's what you get when you choke me. So,
Oh
in other
God.
words, they must have had an argument. And back to the arrest that was made, the
Yeah.
strangulation arrest, maybe he did put his hands on her
Okay.
and she still didn't get over that. Like, maybe that did happen
Mm-hmm.
because she referenced it in this video.
Right.
And also, like, later on, prosecutors would also like reference that from the prior arrest.
Mm-hmm.
So now in the video, he continues pleading and she continues recording. At another moment, she says, that's what I feel when you cheat on me. Like, she's just, I mean, she's drunk. So it's really
Yeah.
not making that much sense. But the video captures the sound of him struggling inside the suitcase,
Mm-hmm.
shifting, pushing, and trying to move inside of this little box. It's so uncomfortable to watch.
Well, at least
The
our
video
suitcases
of
are open on our video.
I know.
We can breathe.
So then something even more unsettling happens. Instead of opening the case, instead of checking on him, Sarah went upstairs and fell asleep.
Oh God.
Downstairs, inside the suitcase, Jorge was left trapped, alone and struggling for air. The next morning, after Sarah slept off the alcohol, she noticed he was still in the case, but he wasn't responding when she was calling him, so she dialed 911.
Oh God.
She told this dispatcher that something was terribly wrong. According to Sarah, she had she had woken up and discovered her boyfriend, Jorge, unresponsive inside the suitcase. And it's a crazy 911 call. So
Yeah.
she explained, oh, no, oh, you know what? I put a note here. I
Yeah.
put a note here. We should cover the craziest 911 calls that ever happened. I
Oh,
would love to do a deep dive on that.
okay.
That would be interesting. She explained that the night before they had been drinking and playing a game of hide and seek. She claimed that Torres had climbed into the suitcase as part of the game and that she accidentally fell asleep upstairs, believing that he would be able to get out on his own. But when she
Jeez.
woke up, she said he wasn't responding. Police and EMT arrived shortly after this. Inside the home, they found the suitcase with his body, as she described. When officers opened it, they discovered Jorge Torres Jr. inside. She never even opened up the suitcase.
Oh my
She
God.
never even unzipped it to check on, like visually check
Yeah.
on him.
Yeah.
He was already dead.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. So I'm picturing and with rigor mortis and everything, like
Mm.
he he's all curled
Mm-hmm.
up, I'm assuming. Like,
Yeah.
in a suitcase. I
Yeah.
can only imagine taking him out unless, that time frame or whatever where rigor mortis kind of
Mm-hmm.
loosens back up, if you will. But oh gosh, like I have a
I
very
know.
bad visual right now.
Yeah, and he's not a big guy. He wasn't big. He was a
Okay.
little, he was on the thin side. So
Okay.
when you see him, because at first I was like, how did he fit inside of the suitcase?
Yeah.
Grown man, but he's not like a big, bulky guy.
Okay.
Now, investigators quickly secured the scene. The townhouse was treated as a potential crime scene while detectives began documenting everything in the room. Photographs were taken of the suitcase and the surrounding area.
Mm-hmm.
Torres's body showed signs of struggle. His fingers were
Sure.
bruised and scraped,
Sure.
suggesting that he had been pushing and clawing at the side of the suitcase in an attempt to lower the zipper to
Mm-hmm.
escape. Oh my God,
Yep.
that must have been torturous.
Well, that's when they noticed that with trunks too. That's why they have that emergency release now inside the
Hmm.
trunk. Like if you get caught in a trunk.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, would they actually start doing that with suitcases now?
Oh boy. Interesting. I don't know.
Emergency release.
It's alarming. It's
Ugh.
so alarming. The Orange County Medical Examiner's Office later determined that Torres died from asphyxiation, suffocation, and his death was officially ruled a homicide.
Mm,
While officers were still processing the scene, Boone spoke with investigators and agreed to turn in her cell phone. At the
okay.
time, she appeared cooperative. But the phone would soon become the most important piece of
Mm-hmm.
evidence in this entire case. So
Mm.
I'm thinking she was too drunk to remember that she had recorded those videos of him
Oh,
pleading to open up the case.
oops.
Yeah.
That's a big oops.
Yeah, and they discovered those videos, and the videos clearly showed Torres trapped inside the suitcase, begging to be let out, and Boone
Mm.
laughing and taunting him while he was struggling to breathe.
I just
The,
looked up some pictures of both of them, and
okay.
there's a one picture. I think it's her mugshot. She just looks sinister.
Yeah. So, okay. So not to derail the story,
Yeah.
but the trailer I spoke to you about before, Karen the game,
Yeah.
she literally looks like the character in the game. Like she is Karen. Yeah.
She
I'm
is
sorry.
Karen.
She's yeah, she has that just very I have a
Mm.
problem with authority face.
Mm.
All right. So the recordings on the phone directly contradicted her story of a simple game of hide and seek. With that evidence, detectives arrested Sarah.
Right.
The criminal case that followed the death of Jorge Torres Jr. would become almost as unusual as the crime itself.
Mm.
Sarah was booked into the Orange County Jail and held without bond while awaiting trial. The case was assigned to the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court of Florida, where it remained for several years. From the beginning, the case attracted intense attention from the media in Florida. Early headlines were, they stated, woman accused of leaving boyfriend to die in suitcase. Another one was, Winter Park man found dead after girlfriend says they were playing hide and seek. You know how those headlines are.
Oh, I know. I'm looking at a couple.
Yeah. The details was so disturbing, and the story quickly spread beyond Florida into national news outlets,
Mm,
and they referred to it as the Florida suitcase murderer.
mm.
Now, for residents of Winter Park, the case was deeply unsettling. Many neighbors expressed shock that something so disturbing had happened in their safe suburban neighborhood.
Yeah.
But while the crime itself drew headlines, the legal proceedings soon became a spectacle of their own. Over the next 4 years, Boone went through 8 different defense attorneys. 7 of them were court appointed public defenders,
Wait.
and one by one, they withdrew from their
Oh,
case
they withdrew.
because
Oh,
she's a Karen,
yeah.
because she wants to see their manager.
Oh, well, I was thinking, well, she's kicking the can down the road, by firing and having to redo everything all over and again. But if it was
Mm-hmm,
them saying, oh, I'm out,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Houston, we have a problem. Okay.
Yeah. So court records show that attorneys cited irreconcilable differences
Like a
and
divorce
and
decree, irreconcilable
mm-hmm,
differences.
yes. Yeah, and an inability to effectively represent their client. The repeated withdrawals created a long delays in the case
Mhm.
as the court attempted to appoint a new counsel. Meanwhile, Boone began sending frequent handwritten written letters to the court. In those letters, she complained about her attorneys, accusing them of failing to defend her properly, and argued that she was being treated unfairly by the legal system because she wanted to speak to their manager.
Mm.
So the presiding judge, Michael Kranick, eventually ruled that Boone had effectively forfeited her right to court appointed counsel because of the repeated conflicts with her lawyer. Good
Mm.
for him.
Mhm.
For a period of time, Boone was forced to represent herself, and the court videos are
Oh my
spectacular.
gosh, I
I
bet they
mean,
are.
oh my God. If you Google her if Google, well, just go to YouTube.
Yeah.
Every video is like 5+ hours long, but just to see her like over exaggerated facial reactions to everything that's done, she's just I mean, I'm sorry to everybody named Karen, but she's a Karen,
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she's that. So,
You see her face as a picture
yeah,
in
she always
the
has like this
Merriam-Webster
weird,
dictionary of Karen.
yeah. Then one of the strangest moments happened in the entire case. In July 2024, Boone filed a handwritten motion with the court that included something unexpected, a hand drawn advertisement asking for a lawyer to take her case.
Oh my god, do you have a picture of that?
There is. Images of the filing quickly spread through media coverage. The story drew widespread attention, with many commentators remarking on how bizarre the situation had become. So, shortly afterwards, a private defense attorney named James Owens agreed to represent her. Uh, and at one point, prosecutors offered Boone a plea deal.
Okay.
The deal would have allowed her to plead guilty to manslaughter and receive 15 years in prison. But she denied. No, that's not good enough. No, no, no,
Mm.
no. After nearly four
Mm.
years of delay, including a pandemic related court shutdown, multiple attorney withdrawals, and even scheduling complications caused by Hurricane Milton,
Mm. Yeah.
the trial of Sarah Boone finally began on October 14th, 2024, in the Ninth Judicial Circuit Court of Florida in Orlando. Presiding over the case was the judge Michael Kranick, the one who said, "You don't need a lawyer if you can't get along with anybody."
Yeah.
A jury of 6 heard the case that had already drawn national attention. Media outlets packed the courtroom, reporters and the national true crime networks also followed this.
Mm.
Um, and representing the state was William J., who laid out the prosecution theory of the case that Boone intentionally trapped Jorge Torres inside the suitcase as a form of punishment after an argument,
Mhm.
which is
I
believable.
mean, sure. Very good
Yeah.
sell. Yeah.
Jay told the jury that what happened inside that townhouse was not an accident, it was deliberate. And at one point during his opening remarks, he said the defendant zipped Jorge Torres shut in a case and then left him to take his final breaths on Earth. Over the following days,
Mm.
jurors heard testimonies from detectives, the crime scene investigators, the medical experts. Prosecutors presented the 911 call, the photos, the forensic evidence from the suitcase itself.
Mm-hmm.
But the most powerful evidence came when the evidence on the cell phone was played for the jury. Jurors were shown the two videos of that night,
Mm-hmm.
and basically, like, the courtroom, the jury, they all fell silent during the recordings.
Mm-hmm.
It was so disturbing. I mean, if you watch the video, it's really disturbing.
Sure. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
The defense attorney, led by James Owens, argued that the relationship between Boone and Torres had been deeply abusive. He claimed that Boone had suffered from battered woman syndrome and suggested that years of violence and fear had shaped her actions. But the prosecutors were like, not so quick, okay? Because in all those videos, there was not one hint of fear.
Mm-hmm.
She was in control. She
Mm-hmm.
was not afraid for her life.
Mm-hmm.
And the videos, they stated, showed deliberate cruelty on her part.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, they knocked that one right out of the park.
And the child wasn't there at the time, right? It was just the two
No.
of them. Okay.
Mhm. After days of testimony and closing arguments, the case was finally handed to the jury on October 25th, 2024. In less than 2 hours, they returned guilty of second-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
A little over a month later, on December 2nd, 2024, Sarah Boone returned to court for sentencing. The courtroom was filled with members of Jorge Torres' family, many of whom had attended the trial to listen
Yeah.
and listened to the recordings of his final moments.
Oh God, that's
I know.
so
Before the
fun.
judge announced the sentence, Boone addressed the court. She had something to say.
Mm-hmm.
She apologized to Torres' family for their loss, but also criticized how the media had portrayed her throughout the case.
Mm-hmm.
In one of the more unusual moments of the hearing, Boone told the court that her time in jail had been one of the greatest experiences of her life because it helped her reconnect with God and reflect on her faith. So remember, she wasn't able to get out on bail, so she'd been sitting in a cell this entire time.
Yeah. So I'm thankful that he died in a suitcase, that I
Yeah,
didn't help him, and that I spent time in prison because I'm a better person now.
it's all about her.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
little
Oh, jeez.
psycho. Yep. So Sarah Boone was ordered to serve life in prison in the Florida Department of Corrections with no possibility of parole.
Good.
For the family of Jorge Torres Jr., it brought some relief, but the disturbing details of how he died, trapped inside a suitcase while pleading for air, would continue to haunt them.
Mm.
As of 2026, Sarah Boone remains in prison serving life without parole. Her legal team has explored possible appeals,
Mm-hmm.
but as of now, her conviction remains in place. Media attention has faded, but the case is still discussed largely because of the disturbing cell phone videos that
Mm-hmm.
she captured of
Yeah.
his final moments. And that
Oh my
is
God.
my story for today.
Oh my God.
I know. It's so uncomfortable. You know what it is? Closed spaces, like really small spaces,
Yeah.
just like small spaces and really large things scare me.
What if you
So,
had them
like,
both at once?
oh my God. Which is like, it's like that would be to me the equivalent of scuba diving. So, like, I've done
Large.
scuba
Yeah.
before, and it's like having that on your face,
Yeah.
having your air, like, in that tank,
So you're
and then being in
confined,
like
but
the
then
deep
there's
blue.
large. Yeah. It's like the like pulling at each other
Right.
kind of thing.
It's
One
it's
or
a
the
mind
other.
fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Oh my God.
So yeah, that's a Florida
Love it.
story for you.
That's crazy. Another crazy story from
Mm-hmm.
Florida.
I know. I
Yeah.
know. And a recent one too.
Yeah. Yeah. That's wow. I hadn't heard
Yeah.
of that, so I probably just
No.
wasn't paying attention in 2024.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When it happened, I didn't know about it either,
Uh-huh.
but I heard of it, but I wasn't following it when it happened. And then the pandemic happened and everything else happened. So I don't, I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Well, yeah, and
crazy.
it was delayed for quite some time. But thank goodness she was in jail pending
I know.
trial.
Mm-hmm.
Still,
Yeah.
who knows what other damage could have been done.
Yep.
Poor,
Well,
poor kid, though. Oh,
I know. I know. Well, he's with his dad.
well, yeah, but
So,
still. Though, I mean, separate households with two different parents, I mean, that's difficult in itself to adjust to. And then
mm-hmm.
you've got one of your parents convicted of second-degree murder. Like,
I know.
that's a lot. It's a lot for a kid to go through.
You know what I find funny is that when you have these really narcissistic people who definitely got a personality disorder, when they know that what they did, nobody's going to forgive them for, or
Mhm.
nobody can get past it. When they realize that most of them, if not all of them, will turn to God because
Yeah,
it's almost, but not that it's okay. Yes, that she should. She absolutely needs God, Jesus in her life. Okay,
right.
but it's not for the reasons that you're thinking.
Nope.
It's almost a control thing where
Mhm.
I do have somebody that has forgiven me and it's
Mhm.
my relationship and I don't care what you think anymore.
Mhm.
So I just did when I heard that I'm like, of course she did.
Yeah,
Of
I mean,
course she
because at that
did.
point in time too, it's like it's all about perception, right? And
Yeah.
because she's had such a negative spin on people what the public thinks of her because of media and coverage and everything like that, that
Mhm.
it's no wonder, you
Yeah.
know, well, to try to maybe spin it back.
She went to the manager. She went to the
She
ultimate manager, Jesus.
God.
Okay, well, we wouldn't dream of leaving you hanging. For more chilling details and twists in this case and many others, check out After That Crime Chat, available exclusively on our Patreon.
Well, we wouldn't dream of leaving you in suitcases either. So follow us on our socials. Crime Chat with that account on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, X, and Rumble to see what we got going on.
Want more chilling content and behind the scenes chaos? Become a VIP chatter to our Patreon. You'll unlock bonus episodes, bloopers, exclusive sneak peeks, and even free merch. And yes, we got some criminal goodies in the works. So support the show, fuel your obsession with the weird and the wicked, and join the crime chat chatter crew in style. Got me that
Blah.
time.
Blah. Well, you don't want to miss our next episode. I
Yes.
know I'm going to be covering. It's going to be
Mm.
heavy. I think I
Oh,
have the mental and time and space to put it together,
okay.
but it could change. So I'm not going to announce
Okay.
what it is yet.
All right. Well, either way, you don't want to miss it.
We'll see you at the next Crime Chat. Bye bye.
Bye.